Right now, we are heading all the way to the Upper West region, and it's still on government appeals. So the WA SHS, the authorities at the WA Secondary High School are actually appealing to government to address their infrastructural needs. We actually have a report on that. So let's just watch it, and we'll be right back to talk about it.
Located in the Upper West region, WA Senior High School has experienced a surge in enrollment, making it one of the most popular schools in the area. The institution has nurtured and produced influential individuals, including the esteemed Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban S.K. Babin, and Supreme Court Justice Yoni Kulenji. Presently, the school, commonly known as WASEC, accommodates 2,340 students. Despite its significant contributions to the nation's human resource needs, the school is grappling with a plethora of challenges. The most prominent among them is the limited infrastructure, significantly affecting the effectiveness of teaching and learning. For instance, the school's dining hall, originally designed for 200 students, now has to cater for 2,000 students, resulting in overcrowding. This issue extends to the assembly hall and the few dormitories available.
With the type of discipline we have in recent times, our enrollment has actually overnumbered or outnumbered the current infrastructure we have. Our current population is 2,300 and still counting. So many of the students are day students and would have loved that they come into the boarding house to enable us have full control over them. And in this particular situation in which we find ourselves, if we get a 500 capacity boys dormitory and a 500 capacity girls dormitory, I think it will help with the accommodation. In addition to that, if we get an 18-unit classroom, it will serve a very great purpose. As we speak, most of the students, especially the science students, are rather using the science laboratories as their permanent classrooms. So when any other school or class wants to join to have science, it means a science class has to come out and allow them to use the equipment in the laboratory. So our current population of over 2,300 really calls for more infrastructure in the school.
In response to the present concerns raised by the headmaster, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Babin, has taken the initiative to commence the construction of an ultramodern auditorium.
2,000-seater auditorium here. Here we have the ground floor plan. That is where we presently occupy. And on the ground floor, we have an open office plan where the school can use for whatever administrative activities they may want to run as part of this facility. Like I mentioned earlier, the ground floor seats 1,600. The next drawing we have here is for the first floor plan. On this side of it, we have a gallery which seats 400. We also have a mini conference, a conference room here, and a meeting room there. The conference room here seats about 100, and then the meeting room seats about 20 people. On the next drawing we have here, we have the elevations. Here we have the back elevation, the front elevation, the left and then the right elevation.
During a gathering of students and staff at WA Senior High School, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Babin, encouraged them to maintain discipline and strive to build upon the school's past achievements.
What they build in Achimuta must build in WASEC. And what they build in Western Girls must be built in Japa. Unless it's old boys. That one we can't contest, the old boys. And I think that the old boys and the old girls here must also wake up to their responsibilities. It's part of our responsibility. I'm doing this because I'm an old boy of what? This school. You call us old bones, don't worry, you'll get there. So we are here just to inspect the project, and I want to assure you that we do everything because we are far behind the celebration of our 50th anniversary. All the celebrations that this school has undertaken, I have always been behind it. And so this is not the first project I'm doing here. I've been doing a lot of projects. I've been supplying a lot of computers.
The speaker symbolically laid the foundation block and pledged to work closely with relevant authorities to address the numerous challenges facing the school.
Welcome back, and that's the report. I'm actually very excited that, you know, since they asked, they're actually getting some help. And I think that's what old students or people that have attended a school should do. Come back and help that school.
Yeah. I mean, this school in particular has some pretty notable alumni and people like Aban Bagwin, of course, himself Speaker of Parliament, Yoni Kolendi, who is a Justice of the Supreme Court of Ghana, Kwesi Nyantechi, you know, formerly of Ghana Football Association, of course, the Honorable Rashid Popo. So you realize that a lot of very esteemed people have come out of that school, which in essence tells you about the quality of the school, but also sends a message that the school doesn't need to be suffering and begging. There are a lot of people who have done well in life and can go back and support and help lift up the school. We want to talk to our correspondent, Latif Mahama, who brought us the story. Latif, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Yes, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you so much.
All right, so it appears that even though for a long time the infrastructure challenges have been real and very present, it seems that finally there's some relief that's coming.
Good morning to our listeners and viewers across the country. I think the situation at the Wa Senior High School goes beyond just a dining hall or an auditorium, to the extent that there's overcrowding, especially in their classrooms. There's overcrowding in their dining hall facilities and all other public gatherings. If you go to the school, one thing that is very prominent has to do with the kind of accommodation infrastructure, that is the dormitories. You have the girls that are numbering over 1,000, and the same as the boys. In fact, the school has a total of a population of 2,340. And according to the school authorities, because of the lack of infrastructure, a lot of the students are day students, have been made to be day students. And so they have to commute from town, and just as you know, maintaining discipline becomes a major challenge because some of them come from town, and there are a few of them that are staying in the school. So in terms of infrastructure, I think the needs of the Wa Senior High School go beyond the auditorium that is being constructed. And indeed, according to the school authorities, there have been several appeals for support to have an additional assembly hall and a dining hall. And I think it's as a result of the many cries of the school that the Honorable Right Alban Bagwin decided to contribute his widow's mite in support of the school. As we were told, that contribution is coming from his personal resources and some of his few friends, and it is to the tune of close to 12 million Ghana cedis. When the headmaster was speaking to me, he alluded that if completed, that facility will go a long way to help the school in improving on the infrastructural situation. But he said that the school is still in dire need of infrastructure, especially dormitories and classroom blocks. He alluded that sometimes they are compelled to walk out students to allow for others to have lessons, especially during science lessons. And I think that this is a bane on the school that must be addressed. Yeah,
and I mean, it seems rather challenging. You look at the fact that a science lab has become a permanent classroom. That cannot be they're countenanced in any advanced school. So I mean, I don't know if you know about any other people who are looking to come and bring some interventions. I mean, the Right Honourable Speaker has done his bit, but he's just one person. There are so many others who have come out of the school and done well in life.
Yes, Dave, if you look at the situation of infrastructure in the Upper West region,
yes,
it goes beyond the Wa Senior High School.
Okay.
The Upper West region has a total of 43 senior high schools, majority of them, about 10, located in the Wa municipality. For instance, if you go to the Canton Senior High School, which is one of the most popular schools in the region, of course, also a grade B school, that school has been crying for a befitting dining hall for over 10 years today. My text before this report indicate that right from 2012, that the dining hall was awarded for construction. The project is yet to be completed. It has gone through various stages, but has stalled completely as we speak because of non-payment. That has compelled students of the school to sometimes eat in the open and have to run inside the uncompleted dining hall anytime it's threatening to rain. Okay. And so such a situation like that of the Canton Senior High School adds up to the many infrastructural challenges that we are having in our various senior high schools here in the Upper West region. If you go to the Hilen Leman Senior High School, there are structures that were ripped off over 2 years, and they are still begging to be fixed. And it cuts across. The Ulo Senior High School, which is in the Jirapa municipality, is the same thing. Portions of it got bent, though the attention has been given to that. There's a lot of infrastructural needs in that school. And so you have students, especially in the classroom, that are overcrowded. Classes that are supposed to take like sometimes 40 students. You have more than 60 being in one classroom in most of the schools. And so the senior high schools in the Upper West region seem to be all going through the same issue of infrastructure. Beyond even the request for new structures, the existing ones in most of the schools are dilapidated. They have given up because for several years, such structures have not seen any renovation or improvement. And so, whereas some of the schools are crying for new structures because of the numbers that they have received over the years, a key issue has to do with the renovation of the existing ones to allow for students to have decent places for classes and for their dormitories. Indeed, that of the Canton Senior High School, I must say that it's a growing concern for people in Tumu and parents across the region and beyond, because you cannot have students eating in the open or in a dilapidated building for over 10 years. And succeeding governments have paid lip services in terms of payment.
Thank you very much, Latif. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much. As our Upper West regional correspondent, Latif Mahama, bringing us that report there. Now, I think that there has to be a concerted effort by government. I mean, I do understand that there's a lot more work to be done than the resources to do, but I think there has to be a concerted effort because there are certain schools, when you tackle them, there's a ripple effect, that is far reaching,
right.
And so a school like this, to me, is one of those that if you go in to do maintenance, proper maintenance, if you go in to do proper expansion, a ripple effect is widespread, and felt everywhere. So that's what I'm thinking. I mean, but I wonder what the hierarchy of needs are. If you said to let's say, the headmaster.
That's exactly
right?
what I want to understand. Okay, so
yeah.
what are your urgent needs right now?
Yes, because that's key, because anybody that's coming to help, resources are finite. And so you won't have all the resources to do everything.
Right.
But, what would they choose? Because their problems are different. There are different issues. There's the dining hall, which they are now building, right? Through the Speaker of Parliament's intervention.
True.
But the science labs have become classrooms.
And not just that, they even have issues of accommodation.
Yeah.
The boarding facilities. So
a lot of people have become day students.
Yeah, a lot of people have become day students.
Yeah. Anyway, the headmaster has joined us on the line, Mr. Adams Idrisu, third man. Welcome to Breakfast Daily, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So, I don't know if you heard us talking about this hierarchy of needs, but if you were to list your top 5, what would they be, challenges that you need resolved?
My first top 5 priorities includes the current ongoing auditorium being initiated by the Speaker.
Okay.
Then a dining hall, an 18-unit classroom, then a boys and a girls dormitory, making 5. These are my most priorities for now.
How
and each of the dormitories should be about 500 capacity.
Okay.
Yes, please.
In terms of what you have now, let's talk about the dormitories. In terms of what you have now, the student population versus spaces available, give us a picture.
My current enrollment stands at 2,340.
Okay.
But currently, we have more than 300 of our students being day students.
Okay.
But the 2,000 even on campus are so congested in their rooms.
Wow.
I see.
And most of the rooms are so dilapidated to an extent that anytime it rains, some of them have to move, especially from the eastern side, to join their colleagues in the other cardinal points of the dormitories, because rainwater usually runs through the windows. Yes.
Where have you? Who have you approached? Where have you been and gone to seek for help regarding this? I mean, of course, I know that government is ultimately responsible, but we also understand government's constraints as far as resource availability is concerned. So, who are some of the people that you've reached out to, and does it look like help is coming from other places? Of course, the Right Honourable Speaker is doing his bit now. Does it look as though help will come from somewhere else soon?
Well, I have written a number of letters.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we're struggling to hear you. Yes, go ahead.
I have written to get funds.
Okay.
In the classroom. Because if you had your correspondence report, my science laboratories have now turned into permanent classrooms.
Yeah.
So we felt that if we get an 18-unit classroom, at least for the students who are day, they have an option.
Yeah.
But for classrooms, you cannot have them outside the school campus.
Yeah.
So I think one of the first things I did after I made an appeal for an auditorium through the Speaker of Parliament, who is an old boy of the school, I wrote to get funds for the 18-unit classroom. At least I know government is doing its best, but as much as possible, we also need to extend our hands to other people, like the Speaker of Parliament. We are actually yet to contact directly one of the Supreme Court judges by name Yoni Kulandi.
Yoni Kulandi, yes.
Yes, all these personalities are old bones of Wasine High.
Don't forget Rashid Purple.
There was Central MP Rashid Pelfo is one of them.
Yes.
Even during the last primaries, his main contendant, Alaji Hudi Mokhtari, also an old boy of War Senior High School.
Okay.
At least we actually have the men.
Yes, you do have
but
them.
Maybe their attention is yet to be drawn to the school. Yes, please.
All right. Well,
the entrance you have seen.
Yes.
In fact, sometimes it camouflages people. It is my staff.
Oh, really?
Over 100 staff I have. They contributed 50 cedis each. They raised about 8,000 cedis
to build
to
the entrance.
The entrance.
To
yes.
paint the entrance. Wow.
Yes, it is the staff of the school, and I'm always indebted to them. They painted the entrance as well as the staff common room.
Wow. Okay.
It is the visual arts department of the school who has been helping in all these designs and so on for the school.
Okay.
So we are actually appealing to all students, at least.
Thank you very much.
To turn a better eye on us.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, I mean, we wish you all the best. I'm sure they are all listening. If they're not listening, somebody is going to draw their attention to it. And
Thank you so much.
We'll be speaking with the headmaster of Wa Senior High School, and he is Mr. Adams Idrisu, third man. And let me just say that the Justice of the Supreme Court of Ghana, Yoni Kulendi, Kwesi Nyantechi, Rashid Popo, as well as Alban Bagbin, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament. Well, your school needs your attention, and so yourselves and your network of friends can reach out to them and help in whatever way you can. Classrooms are needed, dormitories are needed. There's a lot of need out there, and I'm sure it's a place that you have fond memories, and so it wouldn't be that difficult to turn your emotions towards them and your money as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this should also be an example to anyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Wherever
you came from.
Wherever you came from, it's important for you to go back there and help. Because they have formed you.
They shaped you.
They shaped you.
Exactly.
And you see, one thing I really like about this story, although it's a not so great story, but you can see that people are still going to school. There's still the interest of going to school. They're still enrolling. So that means, education means something to them in that area. That's what I really like about, this, Although, they need the classrooms, but the students and, parents out there know the importance of school and still pushing their kids to go to school.
Well, they say that education is a change maker. So let's support them the best way we can.